Hello, I am Sonal Agrawal and I am taking this FullStackOpen course right now, and it covers React. I am at part 2, but it covers modern web development with JavaScript. And so right now I am at the 12.2 exercise, which is a new exercise and it's optional because it's marked with a star. So I will try to solve it and let's see how it goes. So this is my directory open. So we have part 2. So let's first create a new React app. Let's name it countries. Yeah. So while it's installing in the background, we can read what's the task about. So the API provides data for different countries in a machine-readable format, so-called REST API. Create an application in which one can look at data of various countries. The application should probably get the data from the endpoint all. So this is the endpoint. Let's try opening it in browser. Okay. And okay, so we get data of each country in an array, and it's an object with all the details. Okay. So the user interface is very simple. The country is found by typing a search query in the field. If there are too many countries that match the query, then the user is prompted to make the query more specific. If there are 10 or fewer countries, but more than one, then all the countries matching the query are shown. When there is only one country the matching the query, then the basic data of the country is shown. Its flag and the language is spoken. Okay. It is enough that your application works on most of the country. Okay. So our React app is made. Let's cd into countries and npm start. So yeah, and in the countries, in the src folder, we don't need the app.css, app.test.index.css, logo.sh. So let's delete these files. But did I delete the whole src folder? Let's copy one from here. Copy countries, paste. I hope it will work now. Okay, this is the example from the previous file. So let's just delete this. In app.js, this is fine, and in okay, we don't need to import, and we can directly just return hello. So okay, this is our basic app. Now we need a input field and we need to show the country data. So let's first just return a extra outer div, and here we can find countries. input, no need for extra closing tag. And now we can, let's just try what this shows. Okay, this is working fine. And now we need to console log whatever we, so let's just create a uh, use state. Okay, we need to import use state like this. We will create a state variable to store what our current data. So we can do something like const, let's call it search filter. Whatever we are typing in the input box, we will call it search filter, and we can set search filter. So that will be equal to use state, and it will be empty initially. And so the value of this input will be whatever is the value of search filter. Let's save it and reload. Yeah, so it shows that we have it's a control component basically. Now it's a control input field. I don't know about it in details, but we need an on change handler now that will change the input as we type. So it will, an event will be passed, and we can just console log for now. Console log the value of the event e.target.value. So let's try to write something. Okay, and instead of this we can just set search filter to e.target.value. Okay, and we can go to the components here, and now if I type something, it's shown here. So our state is getting updated. Now we need a variable to store the data that we fetch from this endpoint. So for that we will need to install Axios in our system. So let's just install npm install Axios, and let's look at the package.json file. Yeah, Axios is added here, and now we can import Axios here. Import Axios from Axios. Okay. So we will store the data that we fetch in a state. So let's call it countries and set countries. So it will be use state, and it will be an empty array initially. And now after that, I think we need to use we also need to import use effects. And we can, okay, so I am not sure the syntax of use effects, so I have the example code that was given in the tutorial opened here. So like this was the example code in the tutorial. So let's see once how use effect works. So use effect takes a callback and an array depending on which it will get re-rendered. So if this is an empty array, it will only render on the it will only use effect will only call the callback function uh, after the first render of the component. So I think we can just copy this from here. No, let's not copy. Um, okay, I will try to write it. So the first argument is a callback function and the second argument is an empty array. Now whatever we need to do goes inside the callback function. So does it takes any? No, it doesn't take any. So let's just console.log effect, and we need to get Axios dot get the URL is the URL will be this Axios dot get this URL, and when we fetch this data we need to do something with it, and that will be another callback. So we are getting this data, and after fetching this it will be data here, sorry, response. Let's just console log response. It should work, I think. Countries is assigned a value but never used. Okay, set countries is never used. It's fine. So let's reload and go to the console, and here's our data, and here's the actual country data. So that is 250 array. So let's log res dot data. Yeah. So now instead of logging this, we need to there's no need to console log this. We can just set countries to res dot data. Okay, and right now let's just show all the data here. Wait. So each country has a name, right? So let's just show the name of all countries here right now. So after this is done, our countries variable will have the list of all the countries. So we can just countries dot we can loop over all the, what was that array function to loop over all the countries? Yeah, we can map on all the countries. So that will be a div of no need for a parenthesis here. Country dot name, and this needs to go into a brace. Okay, and here all the countries are shown. But writing any name doesn't work right now, and we'll also need to assign a key value to every element. So that will be key let's just say the key of the country is, uh, we can just use the name. Country.name will also be the key of the country. And if we now refresh this and wait for a second, so all the countries are shown and there are no error messages. So now we need to implement the actual search functionality. So for search we can just filter the countries. So we can do something like const filtered countries, and that's equal to countries dot filter same here, country dot name is equal to country dot name dot it should be country dot names dot includes or contains. I think it includes. It includes a search filter. Is this correct? Let's console log the filtered countries. Okay, the filter countries are all. Let's try India. It's an empty array. Oops, what if? Okay, so it's not case sensitive. We got two countries, British Indian Territory and this India. So we need to make sure it's case insensitive. So let's just convert it to lowercase. And includes search filter dot to lowercase. So now it should work. Let's clear the console. If I type India here we are getting 2. Let's try B. So all the countries starting with B will be shown here. All the countries that contain the letter B. Okay. Let's try R. There are only 6 countries and Brazil is one of them. Okay. So now our search is working, but instead of just logging them here, we need to show them here. So we will just map over filtered countries instead of all the countries. And now all the countries are shown, and if I type something like India, and only India is shown. Okay. But the specification says that if there are too many countries to match the query, then user is prompted to make the query more specific. And if there are 10 or fewer countries, then are shown. Okay. So if there are more than 10 countries, we need to tell that to be more specific. So how can we do that? We can use conditions here. Or we can just make a new component for returning the countries. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's make a new component for, let's call it show results. and that will be a function that takes in props. And now here we need to pass, we need s will be okay, and we can pass filtered countries to it. And instead of taking props, we can take filtered countries. So now we can use conditional statements here. If filtered countries dot length, I don't know if length is the correct term. Let's just console log length first here. For now, we can just return this. No need for curly braces, and we can console log dot length. Is length a function or just a characterist? Let's see. 250 India. Yep, its length. So that will be if filtered countries dot length is greater than 10, because that's what it says, right? If there are too many, over 10 countries, too many matches, specify another filter. Then we need to return let's return a div that says too many matches, specify another filter. Okay, yeah, it's working. So let's try I, and okay, if I try IN, there are too many matches, but as soon as I try D, it shows the countries. And what if BR? Yeah, it's working. And again, and if there is only one country matching, then we need to show all of its data. So we can have another if block here. If filtered countries dot length is equal to 1, then we need to return something else. And so let's say we will have an upper level div element, and let's just define a country constant. That will be filtered countries of 0, because there is only one element. So now the first one will be an h1, that will be country dot name, and yeah, we need to okay. Then the capital and population. So capital is let's just show another div. country dot capital, and population similarly. Population is also let's try this first. So initially there are too many matches. Let's try. Okay, India. Okay, what about Brazil? Okay, let's show another details too. Languages and a flag. We will have another h1 tag for languages and a UL, and then we can map over. Where are the languages? Okay, here are the languages. So we can country.languages.map. Language, we need an li element where language.name. Yep. Let's try Brazil once again. Oops. What's the first country here? Afghanistan. Let's try Afghanistan. Afghanistan has 3 languages. And now finally the flag. So is there a, yep, there is a flag link, and now we need an image. Can we src country.flag image element 7 alt prop. Okay, let's just, the alt will be country.name. Yeah, it's showing here, but it's too big. Width, let's say the width is 50%. Did it work? Let's try 25. Yep. Let's try 10%. 10 is too low. What about 20? Okay, 20 seems to work fine. So should I show other details too? Capital, what about we can show currencies, but let it be, because our app right now matches the given example. So let's just move forward. So 12.13 Data for country step 2. There is a still lot to do in this part, so don't get stuck. That's what I'm doing. I've been recording for how many minutes? 30. Yep. I'm recording for 30 minutes. Improve on the application in the previous exercise such that when the name of multiple countries are shown on the page, there is a button next to the country which, when pressed, shows the view of the country. Oh. We can try that. So that will be in this case where we are returning this. So after country name, we also need a button with show attribute. Yeah, but clicking it does nothing as of now. So after clicking it, we can do is after clicking this button, we can copy this text here. So it will show its individual data. But how to do that? Let's separate it on a different line. Okay. So we will probably need an on-click attribute, on-click event handler. So let's just console log the event. Yeah. So we clicked it. Can we somehow embed the country name inside the button? Value, but it will be shown right. Country dot name. Let's wait for it to fetch. Let's print e.target.value. Yeah. So now we can just set the set search filter to that country name. And we are probably not sending the set search filter. So let's just so it should work now. Let's try India, and if I click on show, oh, let's click on show here. Yeah, because it says that it is enough that your application works for most countries. Some countries like Sudan can be hard to support. Yeah, let's try Sudan. And Sudan will be hard to support, but if I click on South Sudan, it will work because Sudan is a name of a country, is part of another country. Yeah. Okay. 12.12 is done. Now 12.13. Improve the application in the previous exercise such that when the name of multiple countries are shown on the page, there is a button. Wait. 12.13 is done. Now we can start 12.14. There is a lot of add to the view showing the data of a single country. The weather report of the capital of the country. There are dozens of providers of weather data. I used weatherstack.com. Okay. We need to show the current weather. In some browsers, we need an API key. Okay. So I am recording this, but I don't. Yeah, API key can be. Let's just try to weather data without API. Open weather map. I think I will use WeatherStack only, but let's just stop the application here. Stop the video here. I think this is enough. I was able to implement these two functionalities. So I hope if someone is watching this video, you found it helpful, and bye.